Draft started. First pick, first ban. Go over to Cognitive on Battlefield of Eternity. Thrall is going to be the first ban here. THC going to deny the Greymane. This is probably Greymane's best map. Clearly, he's good on all maps, but his siege damage against the Mortals is the best in the game. So he's going to be denied by THC. And Cognitive hovering that first pick, Kael'thas.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Kael'thas has been giving a lot of strength to Cognitive in a lot of the games so far. We'll see if they can do it again versus THC. THC is coming off of a 2-1 victory over Elevate. So it was probably obviously very, very close. At least the series was. Not sure how the individual games went. But they didn't have too much of a break here. And Cognitive has had some time to get up, stretch, grab a snack.
I love snacks.
Yeah, I love snacks too. THC,
You recently had cookies as a snack.
I did have cookies. They were delicious. I may be getting more cookies tonight.
Nice! THC White picking up that Tyrande Li Ming. I mean, we've seen the power of Tyrande in the hands of Cognitive, Koth and Luck, topping meters in both of the games. We've seen him play it, mixing that THC has the Li Ming. They have a lot of damage. Hunter's Mark does work on the Immortals, so allows you to burn those down. So really good picks here for THC. Cognitive still having a lot on their table. As Sonya is on the board. Really good on this map. Another hero with fantastic siege damage.
Tyrande is huge for Battlefield of Eternity too.
There we go.
And Tassadar and Illidan going back to...
They had these three heroes in the draft earlier today.
That was on
disgusting
Sky
Temple. Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe their other hero was ETC and
they
Rhaegar.
had Murden and Rhaegar.
Murden and Rhaegar. So I don't know if THC White's going to be THC White. I know that's what their old name was. Are they still called THC
I
White?
think they're just Team Higher Consciousness now.
Just Team Higher Consciousness now. Okay, so playing it, they should be able to deny that. They definitely need to ban out one of the warriors here, ETC or Murden. Doesn't matter whichever one they want to play, they don't ban clearly. And then they deny the Rhaegar with a pick of their own.
Yeah, the Rhaegar will be the ban. And Cognitive quickly following up with a Sonya. So now we'll see THC grab the support of choice. Probably Uther to take it away, but also just to make sure that they have one of those two main supports that we're seeing. They're hovering him now. But that means that they will give one of those two warriors over to Cognitive, either ETC or Murden.
Well, let's find out here. As to what they're going to pick up. Sonya going to be denied by Cognitive. Good ban there, in my opinion. THC definitely going to lock in that Ruther, obviously. As Rhaegar was banned. See which warrior they end up wanting to pick here. It's going to be ETC. Good disruption. Great follow-up for the Tyrande. Mosh Pit. Very good versus composition, as right now all there is the Kael'thas as CC.
So now, probably they'll grab Murden again to go along with this. Who will they have as support without Rhaegar being available? Do they go for Tassadar Brightwing and have the ability for her to add the phase shield to Illidan and just focus on shielding and damage mitigation? Or will we see another Kharazim? That's what they're looking at. Okay, so Kharazim is locked in. And they want to think about their warrior. That's why they put the Kharazim there, so they have plenty of time. They already knew that that's who they wanted for sure. They're just looking at the warrior now. If not Murden, then who? Tyrael?
I almost want to say Joanna. Her disruption's good on this map. With the new falling sword style we see. Keep up with the Illidan and the Kharazim when they dive deep. But Tyrael does fit in well. The problem with Tyrael, though, is the Sanctification will probably most of the time only be affecting the Illidan. It's just going to be the Murden, like you said. I think this is the best choice.
I agree.
It gives you another interrupt for the Mosh Pit, which is very important.
And then who will THC pick? Potentially,
well, they don't have a melee
Vala?
assassin.
Yeah.
But there's only Zeratul for that role.
Right.
This isn't Zul's best map, so won't be seeing him probably. Vala would be good. Sylvanas, of course. We talk about Sylvanas, how on maps like Infernal Shrines and this one Battlefield of Eternity, the Sylvanas push helps out a lot, making your Immortals gain more value.
Now we're seeing Sylvanas come back in a lot more to play since her rework. One thing I haven't been noticing a lot of is mind control. Have you seen very much of it in the Gold League or the first qualifiers for this event?
I don't remember. These casts are all becoming a blur, Gilly.
Sorry, put you on the spot there. I just didn't know if maybe you had noticed or seen it, because for my part, I've really just seen Wailing Arrow still. And I know that like when she came on the PTR, everyone was like, mind control.
Outside of troll games, no. It's only Wailing Arrow. There's an argument for going mind control on Tomb of the Spider Queen. But I don't think outside of troll games we've seen it yet. It's just the problem with mind control is like Sylvanas becomes a stationary target. Let me go ahead and tell him to go. Becomes a stationary target. She's free kill, and cleanse is very good versus as well.
Look at this Skinnergy right here from Cognitive.
Skinnergy?
Yeah, they all have.
I can't see them.
Oh, well,
I can only see the other team.
Well, they're all looking very fly, readying up. 10 players are ready. So we should be starting the countdown pretty soon. And there it is. We are going into the round of 8. Don't forget, guys, that we don't go to the finals for this event. All we have to do is get to the semifinals and play through those to see what 2 teams will be qualifying for DreamHack Austin in the early part of May. But the game is starting. Game 1 between Cognitive Gaming and Team Higher Consciousness, aka THC.
Refresh the bracket real quick while we're loading in. See if I see anything different. Ooh, down to team. Let me know when you're following me, by the way. Boom! We there. Felon Fisher picked up by Kelthos yet again. The only times you see Mana Addict is either when the How No Win playing Leeming, Matre on Uther, and Buds playing ETC.
And in the red, Caterpillar playing Muradin, Glaurung on Illidan, Cothenluck playing Tassadar, Faye on Kael'thas, and Iacona on Karzim. It is Cognitive Gaming.
Let me know when you're following me, by the way. Boom! We there. Felon Fisher picked up by Kelthos yet again. The only times you see Mana Addict is either when the composition against you has a lot of dive, such as like Sonya, Illidan, and stuff, and also the map has to be a good map for it.
Yeah.
Rotation focused, smaller. On this map, because there's only 2 lanes, it's harder to get the 25 regen globes for Mana Addict to be worth it, but Cognitive already here to shut down Prismaticism's push on Sylvanas, and the top lane is going to be Illidan versus Uther.
We may even see the mana tap as well at 4, since they know that they have those longer fights around the Immortals, trying to make sure that Faye can keep up with those long fights, both in health and in mana. We'll see once we get to that point. For now, it is a 1-for-1 between Uther and Illidan. That's got to be fun for Uther up top, as Glaurung just looking around where he can. The big action is happening in the bottom, where we've got 4 members from each team hanging out there.
Yeah, we'll see who's going to get the most value out of this push. Both teams probably willing to play it a little bit safer here, as neither has really too good of a gank potential. I mean, I guess you can never sleep on ETC Tyrande, but they're playing very passive. Cognitive being them, so it's hard to get that dive. They'd have to dive underneath towers, which would not be worth it for them. Even with the Sylvanas, it'd be very risky to do so. ETC aggressively scouting around the map, but you know, until this first Immortal phase, that's when we're going to be seeing the first action. There it is, 15 seconds from now. Nice power slide comes out, does connect with just Karazim and Iacona. Goodbye.
Really great pick up for them just in time for the first Immortals. They'll be able to get set up really fast around the Immortals, but because of such a low respawn time, it won't be long until Karzim is back. And both teams trading out in the early stage of this Immortal phase, but highly favoring Team Higher Consciousness, who pushed this to the halftime show.
Yeah, having that 5 versus 4 is a big advantage, and they do have about 3,000 health lead right now, and it's perfect spawns for these teams. And without Cognitive contesting this is definitely going to Team Higher Consciousness, using that Hunter's Mark to their advantage, and about a 4k health advantage here for Team Higher Consciousness. Might have been a mistake for Cognitive not to try and contest that.
It was really good by THC to get that early kill on Karazim. It meant that they didn't have the support there, the full support power anyways. They still did have Tassadar. But then the fact that they have the Hunter's Mark it always has to be a consideration for a team when you're up against Toronto on this battleground, because it vastly changes how fast somebody gets burned.
Oh.
And another power slide into a Lunar Flare, and Muradin now taken out as this pressure continues.
Do not sleep on these guys. This aggression has been great, securing themselves 2 kills already, ahead on the Immortal phase, and now out of nowhere, almost a full level lead here for Team Higher Consciousness. Now they're showing the power of Sylvanas on these maps like Battlefield of Eternity. The Immortal is getting so much value here, and this is a very quick fork for this map. Sylvanas, very, very powerful.
Geez, Sylvanas plus Tyrande is a scary combination for Battlefield of Eternity. Tyrande to ensure that you get the Immortals, and Sylvanas to make sure that you get extra value from them. They are sieging down keep towers at 3 minutes 30 seconds. Glaurung and Cawthon are trying to get a good push in the bottom lane to try to counter this where they can, but those towers are worth so much experience, and at this early in the game, this has afforded them a full level lead as they're about to grab level 7.
Well, here comes the roam down here from Justin and Buds, but Glaurung gives up the camp down here, not willing to risk that. Level 7 almost here for Team Higher Consciousness. Sylvanas level 4 talent. Reducing the cooldown on your W is what makes her such a powerhouse when it comes to the damage. You'll often see Sylvanas near the top, if not topping the meters, just because the amount of spread AoE damage she does by constantly throwing out her W is ridiculous.
Not Glaurung, Iacona waiting on level 1 talent, by the way, for Karzi made me laugh because it's like your trait, so you're waiting on your trait essentially until you pick that up. But I guess maybe if they hoped they could get the extra damage from him, it would have come in handy for the Immortals, but definitely realizing that they're going to need those heals now, especially from all the damage coming from THC. Cognitive grabbing level 7 talents now, and they're trying to get the push back into this bottom lane, but Sylvanas always can stall out those minion waves, and that's going to make it tough to actually, force them onto the structure and really try to get them to start draining out that ammo.
Well, most of Cognitive picking up their level 7 talents, of course. Most of them. Iacona, of course, holding out on clicking that cleanse button.
Cleanse.
Yeah, they don't need cleanse versus this much CC. There's only 3 heroes that have insane amounts of CC. That would be ridiculous, Iacona. Level 8 still for Team Higher Consciousness, as they have about a full level advantage. And the Immortal phase is spawning with Glaurung doing the camps at the top. This could lead to THC getting closer to the Immortal, and they immediately collapse. And look how fast they are at this Immortal before Cognitive. Most of them are still bottom. Glaurung's doing camps. This is a huge advantage for Team Higher Conscious.
The timing is perfect. Absolutely perfect. The quick rotation. They know they have the advantage there. Yeah. Glaurung got the top mercenary camp, but their only hope now is that they can go up, and instead they're catching Glaurung out into the Lunar Flare, but they keep him alive. Really good job by that. They did end up getting cleansed for that, but everyone's starting to get low.
Cattle.
The Hunter's Mark hit Cattle Killer. He dwarf tosses away, missing the Lunar Flare, and he stays safe for now, but this is going to be an amount of time with this double support composition of the THC where they can get right back on this Immortal.
Yeah, they're going to go ahead and burn this down as fast as they can, but the rest of Cognitive is here to delay. Glaurung going deep onto Justin, gets hit by the power slide. The rest of the team is rotating out. No one is on the Immortal for Team Higher Consciousness from Cognitive. Looks like Glaurung and Cawthon potentially rotating up. And once they see Glaurung is working on that Immortal, that will be the moment they force a fight. At the same time, again, those bruisers in the top lane starting to work on this front wall, so that is getting value here for Cognitive. Faye trying to land those money-living bombs for Prismatic, spacing himself out very well. Hunter's Mark goes down onto the Immortal, gets very low. Glaurung dives onto Prismatic, but he gets away with the Haunting Wave. Glaurung very far extended here, but the DPS is very split. Still a huge advantage in HP on the Immortal here for Team Higher Consciousness. 16,000 to 700, and this is definitely going to go down. Gravity Lapse connected to ETC. Stormbolt follow up there. Glaurung doing a lot of damage, but they're kiting back as well as they can. Will Justin go down?
He's trying to get away. Glaurung jumping in, body blocking where he can. They all stay alive, but several members very low on both health and mana. And a good stun hits into a Lunar Flare. The cleanse allows Glaurung to get away, to continue to fight in here. But through all of this time, finally, Townwind is able to take out Beleth, and that means that a very full shielded Immortal will start pushing down this bottom lane for THC, who is about to get their heroic abilities.
Heroic abilities plus the Sylvanas with this big of an Immortal. This could be really bad for Cognitive. Let's see how well they defend it. Now, most of the people on Team Higher Consciousness did go back to the base, so they do have a small window of opportunity where they can get a lot of damage on this Immortal, and they get the shield down to about half. But will it be enough? Heroics are here. It's going to be Wave of Force and Starfall picked up, but everything else looking pretty normal, and now the fort is being sieged. The Sylvanas power again showing here as they are disabling the fort, disabling the tower, and making it harder for Cognitive to clean this up. And look how patient they're playing. They know they can't fight 9 versus 10 when the Immortals is up with the Sylvanas. They're just playing so safe.
They are. They have to get their heroic abilities. They have to try to siege this down in time. The towers are falling pretty rapidly now with the full siege here. Glaron just being super patient behind the team. If they could just get their heroic abilities, then maybe they can start to go in, and he is going to start to do so. They have the heroic abilities and immediately engage. Metamorphosis goes down, pushing them back. The Starfall hits into a huge mosh pit, and Muradin will fall. Glaurung is low, trying to get out of the Starfall. Faye getting pinged for her life. They know that they're going to be able to catch her now, and yet another kill for THC. The Immortal bringing down the keep. Glaurung gets hit by a Lunar Flare, but he does get away. Unfortunately for them, they lose a keep.
What absurd synergy coming out from these guys. That Tyrande threw the buds, man. Threw that Lunar Flare at the perfect time. It hit Glaurung as the Metamorphosis, like the animation finished, stunning him instantly. And immediately Justin started casting that mosh pit. The Divine Shield from Uthler was there, preventing anyone to interrupt that. That was just so beautifully played by Team Higher Consciousness. Now they're up 4 kills to 0. They already have a keep. That one Merc camp from before still getting some value. But wow, these guys out of nowhere are playing so impressively well.
There's only a short amount of time before Cognitive are going to be down a talent tier at level 13 to Team Higher Consciousness. They do get the Bruisers and they're even, that camp lasted so long that there is another one back up too, and they're going to be able to pick this up, and they're looking to try to get a push in while they are at their heroic abilities in the same talent tier, especially with this fort. It's low on ammo. If they can try to take it out and start to get back in experience, that would be great for them. They're going after Prismaticism and teleports to her Haunting Wave, but the fort is sieged down.
It's out of ammo, so it makes this harder for Team Higher Consciousness to defend unless they want to hard commit. So the fort will fall. Same time in this bottom lane, that siege cap is starting to push in this way. They do have catapults, so this core could take some damage if Cognitive doesn't back. We'll have to be very mindful of that. We're going to go ahead and rotate down to that bottom lane. We'll see if they do end up going to defend against this push. It's going to be most of it's going to actually be aggroed to this middle tower though, so not getting instant value. Probably won't get the shields down as all of Cognitive is rotating.
But
Merc's not being fully cleaned up here, actually.
yeah, they're rotating to that, and then the Bruisers were ready for THC. They grabbed these push bot. That forces a response from Cognitive, who also, again, don't have 13 of their full level away from being back in the same talent tier. And what happens every single phase? THC gets in a better setup spot for these Immortals and burns it down with the Hunter's Mark.
Well, it's 13 versus 12. Immortals are spawning here. Good positions for both teams as it's on the defensive side, and they're getting an instant advantage. Murder taking a lot of damage. Avatar popped instantly. Starfall goes down. He gets out of there. The palm doesn't connect. That's going to be on cooldown. Howdwin taking a lot of damage, and Glaurung's cleaning up shop. Sharonda's going to be the first to fall.
Glaurung continuing on this death push. The rest of the members low, but he was very, very healthy and at least gets THC away from this Immortals. But there is still the threat of the Bruisers pushing in the bottom lane, so eventually someone will have to deal with that, and they're trying to do what they can. At least force this to the middle part where they switch positions, and then they can go back and heal and go back and clear that up. But the rest of the members are THC. They're getting back into this fight. Justin power sliding in, gets hit by the gravity lapse, and now the members turning on him. Mosh pits to stun some people out, but will get taken out from that.
Sharonda is back up though and headed over, but Glaurung should be able to force the swap here. Machrai doing the best he can, but Glaurung very hard to deal with right now, especially without the frontline ETC, and that's going to force the swap with Cognitive's Immortal being very, very healthy. 27,000 HP left on at the same time though. Merc's doing damage to the core. It is at 98%, so they did get some serious damage, and Cognitive does end up reacting to it. They're going to force Glaurung to at least back off right now. Can THC get some serious damage onto the opponent's Immortal, or at least defend theirs? The rest of Cognitive has shown up.
Send some people back to get some help. as well as to clear up that lane. But now with Luck coming back, they're going to start trying to get aggressive. Sylvanas and ETC also moving in here, and finally being down the talent tier, Cognitive were able to make something happen. Well, Cawthon was too. And now they should be able to do even more, being caught up, feeling like they can get more into this fight, be more aggressive, and finally they get an immortal phase of their own to relieve all of the stress that THC has been putting onto their lanes.
It is a fully shielded Immortal almost, and it has a fort to go through Gilly, but this can do some serious damage. They do have to keep in mind that if they can get this keep down here, that kind of does shifts the balance of power to where it evens out. Both lanes having catapult means that it'll again go to that stalemate status here. Mortal's pushing in here, already losing half its shield. Glaurung potentially trying to start a fight here. Getting cleared up pretty quickly though. This damage from Team Higher Consciousness is doing a lot. Glaurung getting about half HP. Lunar Flare goes out, not going to do too much damage here, but this is a really good tier for Cognitive. Illidan becomes a little bit more defensive. Kael'thas gets a little bit more power. So overall, this is that Cognitive is finally on the same tier. This is good, but it doesn't look like they'll be able to get this keep.
Yeah, they're at least going to siege down the towers. Whenever you are behind in structures, but at least ahead in experience, you can look at that as a potential to get ahead in experience, because you can always look to take down more structures than your opponents. But they've at least caught up in experience now, and they could be looking at trying to get as many of the camps as possible. But THC aren't going to let that happen for free as they're coming in for the fight, and Glaurung gets taken out. Or does he? Divine Palm hitting. He goes into Metamorphosis mode, and now is with both Hongwen and Sylvanas, and the Divine Shield tries to keep Sylvanas alive. Glaurung gets hit by the Lunar Flare, has to evade himself out of there, getting pretty low. Nobody dies from that, but a lot of heroics used.
Cannot believe no one died that fight. That palm was perfectly timed there from Iacona. I could have sworn he was going to go down. But Cognitive not able to get any turnaround kills as well. So ends up being a very even exchange here. Both teams at level 15, very even in experience, kills 4-2. So despite lacking kills, both of these teams have been playing very, very aggressive, and the experience has finally evened up here. But again, Team Higher Consciousness is still in the better position as they do have that bottom keep down.
Right, it's always something you have to be considerate of, is that the catapults will push down there, and it's unfortunate for Cog, but that is the lane that the bruisers, the very strong pushers between the mercenary camps on this particular battleground pushes down, because that is just how that side works. And so it's something that they always have to be watching out for, and they'll likely rotate down and clear them up before they get set up, but if they do that, they run the risk of not being in a good position, like the last couple of times. Although this immediate last time, they were finally in the right position. They made the fight happen. That's exactly what they
don't do that, Prismaticism. Do not do this camp. That is the worst timing for you to do that. Level 16 is here for this team, and they did not end up going Cold Embrace at 16. They ended up going for the Q talent. This thing's dying so fast. Holy cow.
So, change of strategy time. Cog's got to get in the fight.
Yeah, they have to force the fight now. They are in a defensive position around their Immortal. Glaurung is up towards theirs. Going to be able to siege this down from over the wall. Glaurung does start doing some light damage to Justin. Lunar Flare is down on cooldown, so Glaurung looking for the Oma to engage now.
That's a good force wall, trying to keep people clumped up. If they could start to get some of the chain bombs in, bring down the members of THC, then they could go for the full fight. They're going back into that defensive position. Glaurung in trouble. The Starfall hits, and Illidan taken out first in this fight. Cognitive hitting the Avatar mode as for Caterpillar as he's trying to help him get back into the fight, but Hammer of Justice stops Iacona, and he's trying now to just get away from the team members who are stunning him down. Divine Shield barely keeping Sylvanas alive, and Cognitive are fighting for their lives at this point.
Faye really showing the power of Kael'thas once you get level 16. Almost 1v1ing, almost soloing Prismaticism by herself when she landed that gravity lapse there. Justin goes for the power slide. Might be in bad trouble though. He's going to get hit by the stun from the Immortal, taking a lot of damage right now. Did he overextend here? Matre doing the best he can to keep him topped off. Cawthon Luck taking a lot of damage from Prismaticism as he dives in. They need to be careful to avoid this Immortal stun though. Chain Bomb's doing a lot of damage. Faye is doing work right now to this front line, showing the power of the new Kael'thas.
Man, the Li Ming Kael'thas damage has been insane. Just both trying to flank in whenever they find somebody and bring them down. But Glau is back. They've been able to stave this off. But it's still a situation where their Immortal has a long way to go. They're starting to put a couple of people on it, but they have to be mindful of their own health bar, and it's starting to go down. There are some members of THC on it. They're just trying to get it so there's not as many shields at this point. But it's a later game Immortal. It's going to start doing more damage.
It's a late game Immortal with a Sylvanas, so even though it's a 3rd HP, this keep has already taken some damage. The front wall's down, and with a Sylvanas, the keep itself will have almost no value when it comes to killing off the Immortal. So this is still a terrifying push for THC. They're guaranteed to get this keep, but if Cognitive doesn't play this right, this could be game.
Absolutely. I could not agree more. We'll see how they handle this now. If Cognitive can take a couple of members out before they really get the full push here, especially if they could find Sylvanas, that would be key. They're at least going after Li Ming, but Glaurung is in so much trouble. The Divine Palm saves the day, and he moves out of the Starfall into a mosh pit, and 3 members of Cognitive in it. Illidan gets taken out, and the damage dealers are weakening now. Iacona gets hit by a wave of force, barely surviving. Faye doing what she can in the back line to at least to keep some of these members off, but in the process, Ilarion has taken out the keep. It's moving on to the tower in front of the core now too. Nabdra gets hit by living bombs as well as the Phoenix, but it's Kael'thas who goes down, and this looks rough for Cognitive, Zoya.
Yeah, this is really bad. 3 versus 4. Uther dying is a good thing for Team Higher Consciousness here, as the Ghost is able to keep everyone topped up. The Immortal's still half HP. The core is falling, and I can't believe I'm saying it, but Team Higher Consciousness, a team that a lot of people doubted going into this tournament, has taken game number 1 versus Cognitive.
Dude, the Sylvanas Tyrande synergy for this map was real. They played this map so well.
Yeah.
I am very impressed with them. Holy crap, that was awesome.
Yeah. Really, really well done from these guys. I mean, again, Prismaticism showing Sylvanas her potential. 90,000 damage. This is what I'm talking about. When you take that level 4 talent, the spread damage you consistently are doing as Sylvanas is just absurd. You consistently see Sylvanas topping meters in games now because of that. Very powerful hero, especially on a map like this. Bud's keeping up with Li Ming in this game, both at 50,000 damage, again, showing Tyranda's power as a hero alone. I mean, really good draft. Fantastically played by Team Higher Consciousness, and they deserve the win. That was good. I'm a fan. I'm one game, and I'm a fan.
I'm a fan too. I'm excited for game number 2 between these two. We are going to take a break before that. Any final thoughts on the game before we take a break? There you go. There you have it. Well, guys, we're going to take a break. When we return, game number 2 between Cognitive Gaming and Team Higher Consciousness. Hi friends, we are back in the best of 3 between Cognitive Gaming versus THC, and I am supposed to give a shout out to Buds, the terrific Tyrande player from last game. Holy mackerel, some of those stuns were just ridiculous. But the shout out is from Gale Force Esports, who were watching that game and were like, please give Buds a shout out, because that was the first time they had ever seen Buds playing. It was some good stuff.
Yeah, it was really impressive play. I even tweeted out Bud's the legend, because that was really fantastic, landing some of the sickest lunar flares I've ever seen. I mean, I think if anyone's watching, make a, one of those little GIF highlight video things. I don't know what they're called, but just do it of that one stun where the moment the animation ended, he stunned 2 people with a lunar flare. That was one of the most impressive stuns I've ever seen. So, mad respect to that guy.
I just retweeted because I am in agreement, and because of the awesome plays from Buds and Buds' teammates, they find themselves 1-0 over Cognitive Gaming. And Cognitive Gaming's tournament life is on the line right now in the round of 8. The team that we were talking about, very likely they would be advancing in this qualifier, but I'm thinking maybe they were not anticipating that level of play coming out of THC.
Yeah, definitely. And it was a fairly weaker draft, in my opinion, on the end of Cognitive as well, just when it came to playing the map. They didn't have as good of Siege, unfortunately. It was a good draft, just not for that map specifically.
Right. THC played to the map way more.
Yes, absolutely. The draft has begun, though, Gilly. Here we go. First pick, first ban. Going over to Team Higher Consciousness. Thrall's going to be their ban. Cognitive, you know what? Buds, get out of here, guy. You're not touching this hero again. So the respect ban coming out from Cognitive. But you often see Cognitive from second pick, they will ban out the Tyrande. So this is more of a consistency thing as well, but definitely not wanting to let Buds get that again. And then the first pick of Kale Floss. Definitely showing the respect on this hero. Faye was doing insane amounts of damage last game with Kale.
This happened last time too, as Cognitive got Kael'thas in game number 1, and then game number 2, Deadly Ice stole him away, but it's one thing to get him, another thing to be able to play him well. We'll see how THC can do with him. Cognitive getting Greymane and hovering on Li Ming, but maybe wanting more control, not wanting to allow ETC to get into the hands of THC once again, and that will be who they grab.
Well, let's see what their next 2 picks are. Sky Temple, of course. Team Higher Conscious has a lot on the table. Of course, they're going to go ahead and lock in the Uther. Uther pairs well with the Kael'thas, as with the removal of Bolt at level 20, and how Arcane Barrier combined with the new Mediac is not taken as often. His survivability is a lot lower, so we often see him paired with Uthers, Diablo, something that can guarantee his safety. I don't know why I said Diablo. Uthers, Rhaegars, excuse me. Not Diablos. We don't see Diablo.
It's been a long day of heroes, and we have more games to come. We all say some crazy things sometimes, but Uther is the support for THC, and they have one more pick before we go into the next set of bans.
Could be Muradino, could be some damage.
If they're worried about making sure they have the right warrior here, they have to know that if they don't get Muradin, it's very likely banned from Cognitive, and there's the hover.
And it's crazy. I mean, I don't think anyone would have predicted this exactly, but I've been feeling it over the last few days, and it's starting to show more and more in the competitive scene. The state of Falstad. I don't think anyone would have thought that 20-second nerf on Gust would have been this impactful, but it really is. We're not seeing them near as often. Even in the other regions, the 20 seconds is very noticeable. You'll often see sometimes that something will happen where you can't gust because it's still like 10, 15 seconds off cooldown. So if it would have normally been up before. And the fact that so many damage dealers have been buffed as well. Falstad doesn't keep up on damage, and because he doesn't have as good as utility as before, I mean, we haven't seen it. We've seen him go through several drafts, just not even getting banned. He's really, really heavily fallen off.
Yeah, you're so right. It is crazy to see that difference cause that much of a change for Falstad. But sometimes we also see where a nerf happens and people immediately freak out and stop and then are like, oh, okay, it's actually fine once they get more used to the change. So we'll see if that continues for Falstad or if it was the nerf of death for this hero for the most part. Tassadar is the ban for Cognitive. I could see them being worried about like a Tassadar Sonya pickup for the last 2. and not wanting to make sure that Sonya has all of the abilities to get those shields. But Zeratul will be banned by THC.
Yep, denying Glaurung that melee assassin that he loves so much, but they're going to go ahead and go with Zul. So an okay amount of CC between ETC and Zul this game, but a lot of damage between these three heroes. A lot of power between Li Ming, Zul, and Greymane. Last two picks here for the Team Higher Consciousness. Would not mind seeing Ovala. A lot of good single target damage, good AoE damage. And Reign of Vengeance is fantastic versus Greymane. Can secure a lot of kills with it, especially not against the Uther. As for their other pick, Sonya's on the table. I don't think I would like Sonya Tassadar here.
Well, Tassidar's banned.
Whoa.
Do it!
No, don't do it.
Something crazy. Oh.
There.
Okay, Sonya's good too.
That makes more sense, yes. That makes a lot more sense. Now, will it be the Tassadar or will it be a Vala here? Silva can also be okay on this map. Just depends on how much you're actually pushing with your team. Both are very good.
Hey,
and it will be the Falstad. Okay, so we are going to see him. Again, not completely out of the meta, but as before this most recent patch, he was first pick, first ban. Highly contested, probably one of the most contested heroes in the game. And now it's more of a situational pick. Definitely good on this map, as the global presence can be great. And we've seen Cognitive they are willing to run stage dives, so having another global 2 or having a global 2 contest that is very good. And of course, Cognitive with their last pick, no surprise seeing that Rhaegar.
So the Muradin Uther Sonya is a composition combo that we see a lot from teams. Adding to that, Kael'thas now, who can lend another stun to keeping someone stun locked for sure. And then Falstad, of course, will be able to give slows as well as the Mighty Gust for the control in the fight. So THC have a lot of ability to try to stun lock somebody and take them out, control their fights too. And they also have some good interrupts, especially with Falstad now with having Mighty Gust for the Mosh Pit, which will of course be good. Although, like you said, maybe Cognitive, knowing that there's so many interrupts and that it's such a big battleground, will go for the stage dive instead.
Well, guys, if this is your first time tuning in, welcome. You're watching the qualifier for the DreamHack All-Stars Austin event, which is the first of 2 North American regionals for the summer split. The winning team of the first regionals will get a qualifying spot for Worlds, which will take place in Sweden at about halfway through June. There will be more qualifiers tomorrow. Top 2 teams from this event qualify. They'll be joining Tempo Storm and Naventic. And then tomorrow, 4 teams qualify, giving us our 8 that will be competing at the first regionals event.
There will be 2 regionals event for the summer championship. That means that instead of like last year where the first and second place teams advance, it'll only be first place from each event, which means a lot more playing for teams. And you have to do the qualifier for the next regional before the first regional even starts. So
yeah, that starts next weekend.
But guys, the game is loaded. We are headed to Sky Temple for our second game in this series. In the blue is Cognitive Gaming with Caterpillar on ETC, Iacona playing Rhaegar, Koth and Luck on Zul, Faye playing Li Ming, and Glaurung playing Greymane.
And on the right-hand side of the map in the red trunks, up 1-0, it's Team Higher Consciousness. Buds playing Falstad, Matre playing Uther, Prismaticism playing Kael'thas, Justin playing the Muradin, and How Nguyen rounding out the team on Sonya.
5, 4.
Well, that's not going to work at all, Mouse. There we go.
Yeah, Mouse, you need to not be in the center. You need to go elsewhere.
So Mana Addict this time for Kael'thas. Let's see if they're able to collect those globes. It is a pretty big battleground. Bud's flying to the center to grab the watchtower, but all the members of Cognitive here to take it back. And we'll see how these teams start to spread out to their respective lanes. Who will be stuck in the bottom? Very likely we see Zul go down there from Cog.
Yeah, take a look at the rest of the talents. I'm not seeing anything too out of the ordinary. So we're going to be playing a pretty standard game. See what lanes each player wants to do. Bud's playing very safely on the top, not knowing where the enemies are. Iacona are going to be the only one up here soaking, hiding in that bush. In the bottom, there is a 4-man rotate down here from Team Higher Consciousness to just kind of keep pace with Cognitive.
Yeah, we'll see them doing that maybe as they get into the stages right before the the temples, they might try to position more aggressively in that rotation area to try to catch somebody out. But for now, the rotations are actually coming up from Cognitive. It's very nice that they have that watchtower because now Buds is in a lot of trouble. Did use the barrel roll, but Glaurung is going after it in first blood on Falstad.
Very greedy play to be up that forward, Buds, whenever you don't control the watchtower. He was just asking to get ganked. Got punished for very aggressively greedy play there, so and no surprise there on that kill. Taking a look at the map, it's going to be Team Higher Consciousness controlling the middle shrine here, as Justin and Matre do rotate in, and of course Glaurung going to be holding that top shrine.
The nice thing is at least Falstad was able to fly back really fast. He's already back in action, but there's an experience advantage for Cognitive, and they're well on their way to getting 4 talents first. Greymane keeping a good hold of that top temple as it shoots lasers at now the well. Meanwhile, Cognitive trying to contend for this middle temple too.
We'll see here if Cognitive, again, they just try to stall out shots. That's what Caterpillar does. They don't think they can win this right now. They're just trying to delay and potentially get a rotation later. And about a full level lead right now already for Cognitive. They can look at Faye's build. We're going to be seeing, again, the orb build coming out from Li Ming.
Nice.
Which was really, really fun to watch. But a power slide does come in. Prismatism getting hit by the Zul route as well. Getting killed by Matre as well as he can, but ain't going to matter. That's going to be another early kill, as well as Murden falling. Cognitive showing that they are not happy with that last game and playing very aggressive.
Right, and the stalling was so perfect from Caterpillar. They stalled for so long, and I love that Greymane immediately, they were already at the top from that kill. He immediately hopped on the temple so that while they're stalling out, it's a tough thing to do for a team. You have to be very cautious, but if you can pull it off like that and be able to get the towers like that, the temples even like that, now they've even secured the top 4, and you're right, Cognitive is playing mad after game number 1.
Yeah, they've already got a 4th, about a full level and a half up. Matre comes in for the stun. Nice knockback from Caterpillar there. Gets hit by the Stormbolt. He's going to die, but saving his teammate Glaurung in the process. Level 7 picked up here for Cog. Faye changing it up a bit, not going for the Orb Talent at level 7 this time.
Right, so just getting the cooldown reduction on it, but not going for the extra damage at long range. Instead, picking up Seeker for the magic missile, so likely we could see the Mirror Ball later on at level 16. So yeah, changing up the builds. And level 7 almost here for THC.
We'll see what talents they want to take. They're starting to catch up with that kill, putting them about only a level down as opposed to the level and a half they were down earlier. Still trying to fight their way back into this game, just like you said about to hit level 7. Merc's pushing the top lane here for Cognitive, and again, that fort is down, so that's going straight onto a keep, so Buzz definitely going to have to stay up here and clear this out. And Merc's in the bottom being done by Cognitive as well as they get their siege camp.
I liked I mean, they really went for the early grab. A lot of times you see them wait and cap it later on, but with grabbing their giants and getting the bruisers earlier on, they have the ability to start pushing in and doing what damage they can to these towers so that when they get the temple later on, it gets the fort completely. And so that's why they're seeing that. Even Zuldo staying up top, a gravity lap hits Glaurung, and Twins will save the day, allow him to come back down out of that earlier, but Zul's still up at the top, helping to pressure the Falstad along with the bruisers a little bit more. He's starting to head down as the temple is going to activate very soon.
In the middle here, Coffin Luck is laning as Zul, doing a lot of siege damage when we start pushing into this fort. Bud seems to finally clean up that bruiser camp there and still about a full level down, and this is a huge advantage for Cognitive as they're just about to hit level 10. Power Slide connects with Hao Nguyen. He gets knocked back, but not enough damage to secure any kills. Good poke coming out from Faye, though, with the orb still trying to whittle them down, and this is just really aggressive poke coming out from Cognitive, and they're so close to level 10. I love the option here, the decision-making here to leave Coffin Luck to keep pushing in these lanes. They're just going to start doing some siege damage and definitely going to secure themselves level 10. And at this point, I don't think Team Higher Consciousness can contest this. And Heroics being grabbed immediately. Mosh Pit, Skeletal Mages disintegrate, go for the throat, and of course, Iacona not picking one.
Right, you can almost hear their comms, like they're 10, back off. But Zul this whole time has just been alternating between the mid and the top lane. So where they were 5v4, they still did not feel comfortable with getting the fight. That means that Cognitive picks up the temple. They start to siege down into that bottom lane. Zul rotating continuously between mid and top to keep the pressure on in those lanes too. And Cognitive very much in control of this mid game.
Yeah, doing a great job. That's the second fort there to fall for Team Higher Consciousness, not holding anything back. Cawthon Luck pushing mid here. Iacona, Faye, and Caterpillar probably going to join them, and this could be a very quick 3 forts down. It's only 6 minutes into the game, and look at the map pressure that Cognitive already has. This is just really showing an understanding of this map. The rotations have been great, the Merc timings have been great, and just the lane soaking has been fantastic.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. It's been a great game from Cognitive. But THC are finally getting their heroic abilities, so maybe they can make something happen with them now that they can look for a fight. Everything very standard. Come on, Zoia. You know you want to pick lead.
Plans used here on Glowering to get him out of there. Power Slide used to disengage as well. Phoenix was used in that process as well as Cleanse, so 2 cooldown. Caught by Justin, they do. He gets the Stormbolt connect there. Does go for Pierce, so gets that double stun and trying to reposition themselves. I don't know if Team Higher Conscious can fight into this little choke, though.
Caterpillar is going in, looking to see if he can catch somebody. Prismaticism uses the gravity labs on Glowering, but Glow
gets double stun and trying to reposition themselves. I don't know if Team Higher Conscious can fight into this little choke, though.
Caterpillar is going in, looking to see if he can catch somebody. Prismaticism uses the gravity labs on Glowering, but Glow jumps over onto into the team. Caught back up now, and they've been able to get away from these skeletal mages, which is nice as that was looking for the control, but Catapult's going in. There's the mosh pit, gets stunned out. The Bone Prison hitting Conwin, and he's rooted in all of the members of Cognitive and will get taken out. The first blood of this fight. Justin trying to move away. Caterpillar going after Prismaticism, who melts under the pressure of Faye, gets a reset, goes after Uther 2, and Bud's desperately trying to get back away. 2 members remain from THC in that fight.
Yep, really big advantage there for Cognitive. You get themselves level 13, up kills 6-1. The double shrine is spawning, which gives them a talent advantage when contesting this. Cawthon Luck's pushing mid lane here, so that's going to get that fort, which makes the shots from all of these altars going straight for keeps. And of course, that bottom keep's going to be sieged by a boss, so that's going to get some damage there as well. So Cognitive just playing this map close to perfect.
Man, running away through that death bridge from a Li Ming is pretty scary. Like, once she starts getting those resets going too, it's like, hi, here's laser, and here's another laser, and here is another laser. Enjoy. And Cognitive now are going to split up and pick up both of the temples for now. Rigor holding bottom. THC know that they are split, but how will they try to respond to it? For now, they're just trying to deal with this boss. And that is likely going to be all of the full bottom temple before they can even get out and try to contest me this.
Yeah, it's already mostly consumed here. Not going to be able to get that keep, but does some serious damage for later on. So if they do get another boss, it'll be a very easy push into core for them, or another temple will take out that keep. Same with the top one, as it is very exposed here. Going to start doing damage to the keep itself, but won't end up going down. Again, 3-level lead for Cognitive. They just have full control over this game.
Yeah, it really shows you how important the timing of those team fights are. The fact that they were able to get so much done because they got such a good team fight that they got the boss, and then from that, because the temple spawned, both of the temple phases, only a few shots actually went the way of THC. So really good knowledge of when those are going to be up and how confident they can be to win those team fights and know that they won't be behind from those objectives from Cognitive. And they went to siege the top keep a little bit, but they're not quite 16 yet, so they're just going to back off. Maybe try to catch somebody at the Giant Town and realizing that that is a potential going to run away.
Yeah, smart decision making for him to get out of there. You know, it's 13 versus 15, but not for long. Team Higher Conscious just really not having an opportunity to fight on the same tier. They had about 30 seconds, and that window's already passed. Now it's 16 versus 13. This is, again, a monstrous lead here for Cognitive Gaming, and they're looking to put out some pressure here. I mean, they have the whole map to their disposal here. Justin actually going for the point here. I don't know how I feel about this. Power Slide goes out. A mosh pit connects with 4 members there. The spear comes in, but it misses, didn't interrupt it.
Oh, the skeletal mages are perfect too. Divine Shield keeps Zoia alive, but meanwhile, Muradin goes down and Matra will follow. And yeah, Falstad wasn't there for the start of that. He was still clearing out one of the lanes. And I'm wondering if they just felt really pressured to have to contest those giants.
Yeah, it was That was a really weird decision making from Murden to go in for that. And I mean, Caterpillar's reaction was almost perfect there. Just the power slide immediately when the dwarf stop happened. Got a beautiful mosh pit there. Looks like they might be trying to recontest here, but Cognitive, man, they are salty about that last slot, and they are just bullying Team Higher Consciousness here very hard. 4-level lead right now. Hanuin comes in, dwarf tossing in another 17 versus 13 fight, and on the same tier. Prismaticism from one combo is already very, very low. Hanuin gets hit by the Zul root. Faye poking very, very hard and going to force them to disengage. And now we have a double shrine. All of these shots are going to be going at mid, which is exposed, and bottom is exposed. If Cognitive controls both of these shrines, Gilly, that's going to be all that keeps going down.
That will be really difficult to deal with, Zoia, for sure, for THC. They are at least going to control up top for now, so they're going to get what they can, knowing that they need to be cautious about watching out for positioning, especially because they do not have the watchtower, so the vision around this top very largely favoring Cognitive. But THC, they know that they are up against the wire. They've already lost a keep, and they have to get into the fight, and here they go. They don't have 16, but they're going to try to make it work right here, knowing if they lose a huge team fight, that will be game.
4-level lead, still down 16 tier. Still, they cannot. It's so hard for them to contest, but like you said, they don't have a choice. They're down to the last keep. Zulroot landing onto How Nguyen. He's going to reposition himself at the same time, though. Glauron getting caught up here. That's a good situation for Team Higher Consciousness. Now a 5 versus 4. That death there, the super far overextension from Cognitive, that's going to, give THC a chance.
Yeah, that is huge. You are so right. They get the rest of the shots from that temple, immediately moving up to the top, grabbing the watchtower on the way to ensure that they know when the rotations come in from Cognitive, but still 30 seconds until Greymane is back up, and they are moving to the top to get this temple too. And what will Cognitive do? It looks like they're just going to try to lick their wounds, keep lanes pushed where they can so that they don't lose out on the lane pressure, and they always have the potential to be able to bring somebody back in. But 2 keeps down, only 1 keep remaining for THC.
Yeah, only 1 keep remaining, and there's still 3 forts standing here for Cognitive. All 3 of them are very low, but they're still, despite getting the small win here, they're still, in a very, very hard spot to come back from. They really need to get a wipe and, try and get an opportunity to go for a core here. A nice shot from Caterpillar going for some CC, and they get the actual mosh pit down. Just doesn't have Stormbolt up. Caterpillar taking a lot of damage, though. Can Ayak on the top, and Zestral doesn't connect.
Oh, and how somehow, some way stays alive and is continuing on with the fight. Prismaticism, I can't believe it, also staying alive. They are fighting for their lives every single time they get into a fight. How stays away, does not get caught by the bone prison, but still, this is a problem. There is a temple. There's only a few shots left, and it will go toward that final keep that is up for THC, but THC at least has their level 16 talents, but there's still 2 forts up for Cognitive. I mean, every fight is an uphill battle, but they are at least somehow making it work here.
Level 19 versus level 16 very soon for Cognitive. I like this decision making to try and go for a boss. This is kind of a very scary situation for them to be in. Justin does scout it out. Is trying to zone for his team as they're doing the boss. They do not have the Gus. It is still on cooldown, but they're gonna get it. This is the thing that they needed. They 100% needed to get this boss just to force Cognitive to do things on the map, to force them to react. Gives them just a little bit of breathing room.
They need to do everything they can to get experience now, though, because Cognitive do still have a 2-level lead on them, and once they get to their Storm tier talents, that's a point where THC is going to be fighting like they were before, 14 to 16, and it may not go quite as well for them as it did that time. There is a low fort they can always rotate back to, but they want to get as much as they can out of this boss before doing so.
Li Ming Poke doing a lot. Boss is already at half HP, but they're still sieging it down to get the front wall. Can they get this keep? That would be huge for Team Higher Consciousness, and they're on even tier, so they might be looking to force a fight underneath this keep. Caterpillar taking some poke from How to Win. Nice shields from Matra, keeping them topped off. The boss falls, but they want this keep, Gilly. They're going to go ahead and start backing up. Avatar has been caught.
Oh, Justin healing back up. The Mighty Gust giving him time to do so. And they're going to try to retreat over this bridge. This is going to be very terrifying for them. Prismaticism is the one who is actually gets Divine Shielded, and that is Mosh Pit being used. They're turning right back around into this. They know that is down, but Prismaticism still, man, he is making my heart race. And Kael'thas being right up in front.
Yeah, he is really dancing with the line between being alive and being dead. But the Shrine does spawn here, and the last fort is very, very low here for Cog. So as soon as that goes down, if Team Higher Consciousness, who's actually taking core damage from these catapults at 61%. Oh man, just shows you what happens when you leave 2 lanes up unattended for such a long time. And now Cognitive getting aggressive map position. The bottom keep is going to end up falling. That's going to be more core damage. This could be game right here. I think it is. Cawthon Lux just going straight through mid. Top lane still being sieged in. The shots alone can't be contested because they're so far away. 20, like you said, for Cognitive. It doesn't matter there. The stun goes down on Prismaticism. He's still barely just going to live, but doesn't matter. GG. Cognitive Gaming ties up the set.
Well, that got crazy.
Yeah, it did. That was almost clawing themselves back into this game. They were playing very well late game, but I mean they just lost so much way too early.
Right.
If THC was playing that well from the beginning, could have been a completely different game. But they let Cognitive just take full control of the game and get a huge lead. Like at one point it was 17-13.
Right.
So the fact that it just came back to a point where Team Higher Consciousness had a chance where you could see a little bit of life in it, is impressive. So I really feel that THG has a chance going into this third game. They just need to draft a little bit better.
They even took fights at that deficit. I think it was 14-17, and they took fights. They found Glaurung out of position. Then they found Caterpillar out of position. It's exactly what they needed to do. They're showing that they have the understanding of this game to make things happen. They just, like you said, a lot came down to drafting there. And the amount of damage they had to deal with, especially to their structures from Zul in that early to mid game from those rotations. There's the talents so that you guys can see the builds that these teams went for the heroes. But yeah, a crazy game. And we'll be going to game number 3, our first game number 3 of the day, actually.
Yeah, they've all been 2-0s. Well, before we go into that game number 3, guys, we're going to go to break. So
we'll
see you guys in a minute.
Dude. A hype song for a hype match as we are ready for game number 3. That song makes me super excited every time I hear it.
Yeah, dude.
Dude.
Guys, draft has begun. Game 3, Cursed Hollow. First pick, first ban, going over to Cog. They're going to deny the Lee Mingu.
We will switch over to that.
While you do that, Falstat's going to be banned by Team Higher Conscious. And I want to do a quick bracket update. Go ahead and talk about the draft while this page slowly reloads.
All right, THC banning out the Falstad. Cognitive looking at the first pick of Thrall, and they will grab him. It makes a lot of sense. He's been a priority for a lot of teams for quite a while, too. And having him be able to solo lane is nice, as well as, of course, anytime you can set up the fight with a good Sundering is great. THC looking at Kael'thas. They found a lot of value with him. It didn't quite work out for them in the last game, but they're still going to try to make it work. They've grabbed him, especially knowing that the Li Ming was banned. Just trying to have emphasis on one of those high damage dealing mage heroes. Do you have an update? Yeah,
so we have Cloud9 going for up against Down to Fight. If they win that, they will be in the round of 4. We're apparently Team Blaze just beat Vape Nation. Hasn't been updated on the bracket yet. They'll be playing against Gale Force East Force. They will be playing the winner of Cloud9, of course, in the Cloud9 match. Of course, we have this set going on here, and they'll play the winner of Gus or Bus or Panda Global. So we're getting close, guys, to that top 4, which is those last qualifying spots for not last qualifying spots, but the qualifying spots for today, rather, for DreamHack.
We are almost there.
Oh, THC thinking hard on whether they want that Tyrande, Gilly.
I know, right? Bugs!
Is this draft bugged?
Why?
No, it's not. I'm seeing things. Sorry, guys. I'm getting loopy.
The sleeps are real. Do I need to send you some of my Dr. Pepper?
No, I've got some Monster here. You know, it's just the struggle continues. Guys, Tyrande being picked up here from Cog. You know what, buds? You're not getting this hero. It's unbanned. You ain't getting it. Cognitive locking in. ETC Tyrande. There's a lot of CC, a lot of lockdown, and a lot of bursts here already. So much power from this Cognitive composition here. You get the global power of the Owls here from Tyrande, interrupting the tributes, just getting the scouting of the boss. ETC, one of the best warriors in the game. I mean, this comp from Cognitive is already disgusting.
It is very disgusting. THC with the ban now, looking at Sylvanas as the potential to take away. But I think it's likely they could go for Tassadar here with the Tyrande already picked up. What do you think?
Oh, it's possible. Yeah.
Because they both have such good, and they have good ability to disrupt the channeling of the tributes. But Muradin will be banned by Cognitive. Makes a lot of sense as a safe ban with the ETC being picked up. And now THC with 2 more picks. They still need warrior, still need support. Looking at Uther, wanting to make sure that they have their choice over who is going to be their primary support hero. And it will be Uther and Johanna looking at for their frontline warrior.
Oh, please, can we see some Falling Sword? Is this our first Johanna game casting from NA today?
No, we've casted her before.
No, we had one. We saw one. Zagara Tassadar being picked up here from Cognitive, so I was really sticking to the roots. I mean, I feel like each of these heroes is kind of a reflection of the player playing it. I mean, when I think of Iacona a lot, I think of his Tassadar. He's got one of the best. When I think of Zagara, I think of Beaufay and Cothamluck. When I think of Tyrande, I think of Beaufay and Cothamluck. Caterpillar's known for his ETC. He's one of the best in the world at it. And, of course, Glaurung and Thrall go hand in hand. So, like, every player on this team not only getting their comfort picks, but this is going to synergize well together. You got Vision, you've got Harass, you've got Sustain, you've got heroics that control the fight, such as Mosh Pit, Sundering, and Ma. This is just an overall powerful composition from Cognitive, and even no matter what this last pick is, as they're hovering Abathur, I am already really happy with Cognitive's draft.
Yeah, there is a lot to be said for a team that can get a lot of their comfort picks like that. And we know the players of Cognitive so well and how well they fare when they can get drafts that revolve around that concept, and that is exactly what we are seeing here from Cognitive. And I started laughing when you mentioned Iacona on Tassadar, because I was thinking of him in the top of Battlefield of Eternity when he was just like hanging out around the keep area. He's like, "What's up, I'm Tassadar, you can't do anything," and then he like force-balled himself in accidentally. But
yeah, and then he probably didn't have a talent pick too. It was just a really funny situation all around.
well, Abathur will be the final pick for THC. Likely, if they go with Ultimate Evolution, who do you think will be the clone target? I'm thinking Greymane.
Sorry, Glaurung was giving me secret strats this game, and I'm excited, and I'm not telling you, so...
Snaps. Okay, well, I'm ready. Is it Stage Dive? Or is it Nidus Network? Or is it Starfall? Or is it Earthquake?
I am just, my mind's blown at that stage dive noise you made. I can't, like, I've just, it doesn't matter what this game's like, I'm tilted the rest of the day, thank you. Yes,
That is-
successfully tilting me every
That
cast.
is my number one job as your co-caster.
Absolutely, just to see how far you can push me. Guys, we're loading into game number 3. This is it. Winner of this match makes top 4 and gets to compete for that qualifying spot at DreamHack. Loser will have to play tomorrow. And here we go on the left-hand side of the map in the blue trunks. It's going to be Team Higher Consciousness. Justin G on Joanna, How Nguyen playing Kel'Thas, Matre playing Uther, Buds playing Grayman, and Prismaticism playing Abathur.
Team Higher Consciousness. I love it.
Sorry, okay?
No, I
it's
love
late.
it. For Cognitive in red, we have Iacona playing Tassadar, Cothamluck on Tyrande, Glaurung playing Thrall, Caterpillar on ETC, and finally Faye will be playing Zagara.
Well, let's take a look here at the map. Prismaticism is going to be burrowing to that bottom lane. Get it shoved out as well as he can. And it's going to be a 4-man rotation down here as well from Cognitive. Industry making here. Let's see how much damage it can do. Keep in mind, Zagara has the minions, the roaches, that will help absorb some of the damage from these towers, as they will prioritize the roaches and the hydras over them. I'm going to get a free tower and go ahead and back on out of here. Owl's going to scout the rotation from the Joanna and the Uther.
I love that. It's really awesome. Just realize, I love seeing when they just know every step of what their opponents will be doing and knew exactly how they would be rotating down. It's always really cool to see things like that, especially from Toronto players with those sentinels, like getting crazy sentinel kills too, just in spots, knowing where people would be backing when they're low on health. But the rotations are continuing from Cognitive, and it is ETC and Tyrande looking to make something happen. This is an age-old strategy of having ETC and Tyrande to try to catch somebody out of position, and knowing this, THC are playing very, very safely in their lanes.
Well, I like this decision making coming out from THC, as they are playing very, very safe. I'm not overextending at all, but he does get caught out, does get the Iron Skin done in time. I like the decision to siege this down for a second, just get as much free damage as they possibly can. And they're going to go ahead and rotate back. At the same time, Kel'Thas and Abathur doing the best job they can to push in this lane. Faye not getting the creep spread out. How Nguyen doing a good job with the flame strikes and clearing it up.
And keeping the lane pushed where they can too, just making sure that Faye doesn't get any additional damage on that tower for free. Making her work to be able to get more experience for the team. And they're starting to bring this back despite losing that tower. In the mid, more fighting continuing too, as the rest, or 3 of the members, are sieging this this tower once again. They're just looking really to make sure that they have level 4 and have the ability to be aggressive as the next tribute phase is starting very soon. The first one even.
Level 4 picked up here first for Cognitive. But like you said, both teams will have 4 for that tribute phase. We'll have to see which teams do want to end up contesting it. We could see Cognitive give up the first one, maybe the first 2, as they want to soak 3 lanes instead of contesting, because the Abathur will get them farther ahead in experience. Love the invasion here from Caterpillar and Cothamluck to take the watchtower. Just keeping an ever watchful eye on the map.
They were going for the Giants too, but the good timing for THC ensured that they grabbed theirs, as did Thrall for Cognitive. And Faye continuing to try to bring down How as much as possible. And he's getting pretty low. It's potential that if he doesn't have a well tap, he may have to go all the way back or just choose to stay here as the tribute is spawning up in the top. We'll see what decisions the teams want to make regarding this very first tribute.
Take a look at the top tribute there. We do see Buds and Matre rotate instantly. Icon are doing the best he can to deal with those Giants.
Kel'Thuz's
Rotation up
rotating
from Thrall.
super safe path.
Yeah, taking the best way he could possibly can. Iron Skin was used, gonna get him about half HP. Matre goes for the cap, but Glauron going to interrupt it and doing a lot of damage to him. Here comes Buds and Hao Nguyen to contest this. Zagara is staying bottom there for Cog. Again, like I said, they're gonna leave at least one person behind to soak versus the Abathur, as he will get them significantly further ahead.
Pierce making sure that nobody can block the Sentinel as it goes out. Faye continuing to take out that second tower, and a Gravity Lapse hits Cothenluck. He is going to get away back to the safety of his base, has a well tap. He can get back into this fight. And as I mentioned before, they have a lot of good stalling for the tribute. Uther once again gets hit by a Sentinel, and that ensures that they're stalling this out. And as long as they're doing this, Zagara has a lot of siege happening in that bottom lane.
Yeah, and because of this, Prismaticus is not able to symbiote multiple lanes and not getting them further ahead. It's just kind of negating this out. And Team Higher Consciousness seems to be realizing this. They've kind of backed off. They're still contesting it to stall it out, but they need level 7 here. Caterpillar does aggressively move forward to get in range to power side. Matre might rotate down for the Wave of Light. Does he interrupt it? And he does briefly, but with Kael'Thas rotating down Joanna in the mid, this first tribute will go over to Cog.
Caterpillar grabs at the shield glare, does not stop it in time, and a fort goes down through that aggression. Great plays from Cognitive to not only counter the Abathur, but like you mentioned, put the damage down on that fort. Iron Skin popped by Johanna. Justin doing a great job of getting away from that Lunar Flare in time, but once again, they get the tribute and they go right back to this damage on the mid structures.
Well, we do see the Condemn comes out. Bubs going on the Coffin Luck. Nice power slide from Caterpillar, but Matre's there with the stun of his own. Iron Skin has been used, and Caterpillar going to go down. First blood of this game.
The fighting continues, but Tassadar already trying to go up to counter and make sure that they're continuing this, so they want to make sure that they can keep this lead that they have. The next tribute is spawning. It will be in the bottom lane, but in the defended position of THC. And that is always something that you have to be aware of when you are the team trying to siege in, is if you get caught in that rocky area and you need to get back to your base, it can be very risky to do so. And we see them not really setting up. They may send a Sentinel out to delay, and they do hit Uther. But it looks like for the most part, they're just going to delay it once, allow them to have it. They're much more concerned with getting their heroic abilities first.
Prismaticism soaking top lane, trying to get this even experience caught up, but Cognitive is just so far ahead right now, just about to hit level 10. That's when we'll see what potential crazy strats Cognitive will be doing.
Ho ho ho.
Oh ho 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 ho, indeed.
Do
level
you
10
say?
so close. I do say. I say a lot of things.
Nidus Network, Starfall, Sundering, Nidus Network already being used.
Yeah. It's not as it works. Galron said they're going to go Nidus Network to counter the Abathur.
Okay.
Is what he said. So there we go, guys. It's been a while since we've cast a competitive game. Not Heroes in the Dorm. Doesn't count.
I think it counts. I got to cast that game and it was awesome.
Oh, it counts as you casting it.
Oh, okay.
But for the competitive scene.
Oh, yeah.
This is the first time we've seen Nidus Dorm in quite a while.
Would you think that it's nice is network? Because it's so awesome? Because we're getting to see something else? I know that was bad. Anyway, Thrall goes down. He got caught out in the bottom lane. But the pushing continues up top from Cognitive. Heroic abilities also grabbed for THC. All of that very standard, though.
Yeah, pretty standard here. Next tribute spawns, and keep in mind they are tied 1-1. They do have the heroics to contest here. Kael'Thas rotating up. Zagara getting inside the Nidus Network. There is one in the top as well in the middle. Allowing Faye to rotate between these raids, drop some roaches, and immediately go someplace else. Going to go top and then rotate the aggressive way down. There's the Starfall going out, though.
And the Banelings, too, all hit the force wall from Tassadar, but Prismaticism loses that ultimate evolution now. So it will be reduced to the symbiote pressure that Abathur can put out. And they are cautiously still trying to stop this, But remember, this is the defended position once again, so they have to be very careful about how they choose to engage in their force while trying to stop them from being able to stun this out. And they're going after Matra. The Divine Shield has to be used on Uther himself, and he does not. They do not stall it out this time. Glaurung picks up the tribute.
Divine Shield for trying to stall out a tribute, which you didn't even to stall out. Definitely not worth it. Poor decision making coming out there from Team Higher Consciousness, and Zagara already back in lane. Zagara already split pushing with this Nidus network, and because the changes to it, guess what? She gets that insane regen. So yes, Faye is very right now, but it doesn't matter. The moment she gets inside that Nidus network, she gets the buff as if she was inside of her starting base. And gonna just pop out somewhere else and have Anna. She didn't wait that long inside of it though.
She is on a mission, and that mission is to push every single lane. Meanwhile, Zagara's teammates are taking out the boss in top. Remember, they have the Tyrande. Hunter's Mark helps burn that down even faster. The Sentinel goes out, showing them that nobody has even started the boss for THC's side yet, and it does, although they have just now started it with the boss pickup, they will be here in time to contest this. Well, what do THC do?
They're going to go in for it. They don't have Mob, but they still have a lot of power at controlling this point. Can Faye get there in time? Caterpillar gets dismounted by the Phoenix, and they do get the boss. So well done with that dismount from How New When to prevent them from getting it. So they do get the boss, but will this be a curse? Tassadar actually goes down very quickly here.
Yeah, that was the ultimate evolution. Such a great ability to take out somebody there completely. Means they're going to have to just disengage from this tribute, and with that, THC will tie it up 2-2, although Sentinels are still trying to delay as long as possible. I guess they still are trying to deny even without the Tassadar, but Zagara is already up at the top with the boss on the fort. So as long as they don't lose anyone here, they're really going to climb ahead in terms of structures, even though the boss from THC is still working on that bottom fort.
THC realizing that they're getting whittled down. They don't have a well to tap here in mid, so they're starting to get out push. The boss doing a lot of damage top lane as Abathur until he gets 16 doesn't have the best clear for that. Looks like they're trying to engage on here. Blood Shield goes out and ETC falls very quickly.
Well, ETC is down, but Justin is also low, and Glaurung continuing the chase will ensure that Johanna also falls. The bottom boss takes out the fort, and Tyrande and Zagara doing their best to clear this out while the rest try to stop THC from getting this tribute. Finally, THC picked it up, but it was a hard win. They lost Johanna, but they also get Tassadar a 2-for-1.
And the Abathur clone is going to go ahead and get that middle fort. I mean, Prismaticism doing wonders with these clones. He's secured multiple kills now. And if we take a look at the map, I'm going to say Team Higher Consciousness has a little bit of an advantage.
Yeah.
You know, they're really getting this push here in the bottom and the mid. I guess when you count the keep damage top, maybe Cogs ahead, but still, this has been a great job so far of Prismaticism dealing with the split Nidus Worm push. And because of the lack of Maw in team fights, this is just, again, an advantage for Team Higher Consciousness. And if Faye's not getting the best value with Nidus Worm, you know, this could very easily have been a mistake from Cog.
Yeah, I'm a little worried for them too, not having Devouring Maw, not having the control in those team fights, and we saw them get spread kind of thin. They had two people trying to deal with the boss after it had already taken down the fort. It was going to get taken down by the towers, and in that amount of time, losing the Tassadar, also getting the ETC caught. And now, this is curse point for both of these teams. Whoever gets this tribute is going to have a lot more potential to get ahead substantially in experience. The Force Wall stops Johanna, who has already used her Iron Skin, but she does get away. The Starfall and the Sundering still trying to catch a mosh pit. Gets two members into a more and more damage. The Divine Shield means two Grey Mains, double Grey Mains, bring down Thrall. ETC falls too, but the rest of the members of THC are very low in health.
These Grey Main clones are doing work this game. Prismaticism, and you are a monster. 2 kills down, 5 versus 3 here. They're playing it safe though, as Matre is low, Justin is low, so they're just going to slowly wait till they can heal up. Greymane's going to go ahead and clean mid, and with Abathur soaking top, with Greymane mid, this is going to be a very easy level 16 here for them. Iron Skin has been pumped as they know Buzz is coming up from below. Tassadar shield from Cosmolux going to help out a lot. Lunar Flare does end up connecting, and Sprint was used, but this is going to be a curse here for for Team Higher Consciousness, and with the push that they've done, this could be serious damage.
Yeah, this is a problem. A full level lead now for THC. The Sentinel did not stop the cap for THC, and they know that they have a lane already very well pushed for them. The fact that this is also the lane where their boss will push means that it's a good priority for them because they always can get the safer boss on their side. And where Cognitive was in the lead in this, the first one to get the boss, THC has played this out so well. They're ahead in experience. They've gotten their curse. They're trying to get a lot done with it by picking up the Giants too, even trying to get the first keep of the game here in this curse.
They might be able to do it, Gilly. 16 versus 15. Force Wall comes out. Starfall's been used. Sunring just came up. Mosh Pit still down, though. Looks like they're still in a very healthy position, but this keeps dying so fast. Prismaticism with the clone doing a lot of damage, but now it's down. Cognitive looking to re-engage maybe, but in that first keep, it falls. Good job, Team Higher Conscious.
Man, that was so good. Prismaticism just forcing them to focus on him. Johanna, though, could be in trouble. The Hunter's Mark goes down, and she's just delaying so the rest of her team can get away. That is 48 seconds without the Warriors, so Team Higher Consciousness, they're not worried about it too much, though, because their opponents are just playing cleanup still. There's Giants on the core. The boss is up in top, though, and Cognitive know that this is a time to try to get an advantage back into this. If they can start getting some pressure, some things that THC have to respond to, then when the next tribute comes up, they can get a curse of their own and completely mitigate all the damage that they just took.
I know we were hyped about it. I know everyone in chat was hyped about it, but I do not get the value of Nidus Swarm this game. It's just not applying enough pressure on the map. Faye's not getting enough value. Ma would have been so much better, at least at this point. Maybe they can get value out of it later on, but it looks like this will go over to Team Higher Consciousness. They pop Prismaticism from just to make sure it goes to them. And like you said, Gilly, 14 minutes in the game is still very early, but this is going straight for core.
Yeah, this is a boss to core, whereas it's just a boss to keep.
Are they going to push with it?
I think
that's too greedy.
Yeah, that's very greedy.
They're moving down here like they're pushing with it, though, Gilly. I don't know about this. This could work. It's going straight on to core, but it's still early in the game. 15 minutes is not that scary of a boss. They're going to rotate through the watchtower. They're already starting to work on this boss. Maybe if they're with it instantly, can start peeling right away. But this mid keep is actually taking damage from bruises. They might choose to push with that instead. But they're taking damage on their own keep.
All right, well, Azur's bringing down pretty fast, but that was already a weakened lane. Yeah, I think they're not sure.
Yeah, I don't know about that. They could have taken almost no damage from this boss instead. They didn't get much value in mid. They got no value bottom. They're not going to be able to get the bruisers. Yeah, that was really bad decision making on the end of Team Higher Consciousness. And if they get a pick, if Cognitive gets a pick out of this on the mod trade, that's even worse.
Oh, Justin using Iron Skin pretty early on, and now can they stop him? The Feral Spirit doesn't catch him. Looks like he's going to get away safely, but that was dicey for Vic. Cattle is not willing to let this go. But Prismaticism does save the keep, so they haven't lost a keep yet. They're still ahead structurally, but there is still the problem that at any point, if Cognitive gets a tribute, they get a curse. And these late game curses, especially if you're fighting over the tribute and you lose a lot of heroes, it's very easy to take out the keep and then kill the core.
Well, they're starting to clear out this mid lane here. The tribute's about to spawn. They're pretty far away, and the zoning from Caterpillar and Iacona is great. I don't think they can stop this, Gilly, and like you said, this is a late game curse. This could be huge. Justin actually gets the interrupt, though.
Okay, shield flare stops it. What do they have now for Glamour Run? Oh, okay, Gildan Cocktail stops it again, but still, it's treacherous, that spot. At any point, there's Sunderings available, there's Mosh Pits available. It's so scary to stop at this point, but they're still somehow doing it with the Phoenix this time, too.
We'll see, they're stalling it out. Can they get one more interrupt here for Glaurung? It doesn't look like that's the case, and then finally Cognitive gets a curse. They had 3 catapults on core that started to get the shield down. A few more volleys, and that does do permanent damage, 4%, but not enough to make this curse worth it. They're going to have to play very safe. They're about halfway to level 20. They just got to do damage control here, Gilly. They cannot do much damage.
Yeah, they can give up a fort. They don't need to worry about this too much. Like, they just need to make sure that they can keep all of their keeps alive. The top lane still has a ways to push until it's going to get there. And make sure that they don't lose people. They're still ahead. They're almost getting to level 20. Just patience at this point from THC, and they can wait out this curse.
Yes, they need to be very patient. They're doing a good job of making sure they're clearing out mid. Luckily for them, bottom was so far pushed in so that won't get value. They just need to try and not lose this keep. Yeah. I don't know if they can do that. They're so close to 20. They did just get it. This is a big tier for them. They can do a lot with this.
We got Master of Flame.
The Cognitive immediately backs out.
Yep. I think they've done it.
They're going to hold the key.
already left with the Nidus network and is going to start going down another lane.
Yeah, start pushing. Looks like she's going to be getting the Giants as well. So Cognitive playing it smart and safe. But that curse, like you said.
They only got a fort out of it.
Only got a fort. That's 3 tributes that were Captain used for that. A lot of resources put into that late into the game and getting no value out. So now the game is essentially evened out when it comes to the objective score. And with the keep being down versus Cognitive and level 20 right now, THC has the advantage.
Yeah, they want to find somebody, they want to take some people out, get into a fight while they have that 20 advantage, and win the game off of that. How huge would that be for THC to take out Cognitive here in the round of 8, trying to qualify? That'd be nuts. But they are playing so well this series.
Yes, they are. I have a lot of faith in this team right now. If they don't qualify today, we will definitely see them qualify tomorrow. But they still definitely have that chance today. See Giants being cleaned up here by Faye, doing the best she can to utilize the Nidus Worm, rotating from lane to lane. Bottom lane is being pushed in by the Siege Giants, but they're still pushing in that top lane with a lot of Locusts. Faye struggling to deal with that, and because they know Faye is top, they're willing to push in here bottom. But it's too nice from nice force while Howdwin taking a lot of damage. Good heals from Matre though. Still no ultimate evolution. Don't think this keep will take any serious damage.
Shielding on all the buildings, all the buildings. Trying to keep even the well alive.
Oh, stun going down on the Caterpillar. Condemn coming out. Iron Skin popped very early here for Joanna, though.
Body
Gravity
blocks.
Lock is not connecting.
They bring out the Starfall. They can wait that out. It does at least buy some time for Cognitive, and now they hit level 20. This window of scary time has passed for them, and they get their Storm tier talents.
2 bosses are up. Both bosses being very influential for either side.
Right.
But of course, this bottom left one is very crucial for THC.
It is.
They don't have ultimate evolution right now, so I don't think they can fight this. Faye with the Nidus Worm here. Going for the Nidus Worm upgrade, so that's where the Privileges are coming from. Interesting pickup there. Not going for Bolt of the Storm versus this much burst, this much CC. Really going to be relying on Tassar and trying to keep them up with no cleanse. I don't know how I feel about not going Bolt.
Ultimate evolution is ready. See if they're. I know that they will try to go in here. Most likely, we've got Symbiote on Justin, so when he does want to go in, he's looking to see if he can catch somebody out in one of those flanks like that. Perhaps Zagara as she flanks around to the side. The boss getting pretty low. Justin starting to move on to the point. Caterpillar is there too, and Matra comes in. Matra incredibly low, but remember, he has redemption. They lose Braymane though too, and that's really big for Cognitive. They're starting to bring these people down. Caterpillar falls.
Kill Foss!
Staying on there. The Death Rush hits the Johanna. The boss is grabbed for THC.
Oh my god!
Iacona is stuck between members, but no Braymane.
How to win?
Oh my god, they just lost Asadar!
Kale Thoss did work that fight. He literally soloed all 3 of those heroes by himself. His damage is saying, look how hard he's chunking Faye. She gets almost completely solo taken out by him. Hao Nguyen is the MVP of this game. 4 heroes taken out by Kale Thoss. The Abathur is pushing here. The boss is going for, and Cognitive Gaming has no chance at defending this. They're going to get eliminated from the qualifier, and THC, Team Higher Consciousness, is going to make it to the round of 4.
A giant fight at the boss too. That could be so scary at a boss like that, knowing that they're going up against a titan like Cognitive Gaming. But crazy impressive play from this team this entire series, and yeah, they are 1 match away from qualifying for DreamHack Austin.
Wow. Team Higher Consciousness making a fan of me today, playing very, very well. But I have to be critical of 2 things. I loved the Nidus pickup. It was funny to watch. It was cool to see, but it provided almost no value that game. All Faye did with it was clear little waves here and there, got a bit of soak from it, but it had no value. And the second thing was ignoring Kale Thoss in that final fight. He did so much damage to each of those heroes, literally taking out 4 players almost by himself. When you have the talents that this Kale Thoss has, if you let him run rampant with those auto attacks, he just chunks. And that is what won them that last fight. It looked like it was going to Cognitive with the early kills on Uther and Joanna, but it didn't matter.
But Uther, yeah. with Redemption, he went down early and he still had heals for all of the team. The big one was losing Greymane too, but yeah, like the Kael'thas was just so impressive. I love Matra just broadcasted my heart.
He actually broadcasted my hearth.
Well,
but,
I think he meant my
a little
heart.
bit. He probably meant his heart.
He's shaking too much that he typed hearth instead of hearth. Man, what an awesome set, guys. Such a fun set to cast between these two teams, and we're not even done. We have more games.
Yeah, we definitely have more games, guys. We'll get a bracket up to you very quickly after this game, guys, but stay tuned. Congratulations to Team Higher Conscious for moving on, but we're going to be following them a bit further in this tournament. We'll see where they go after this break.